In our previous video, we just calculated the pH at the beginning and right at the end of the titration of a weak acid with a strong base. And if you go back, you will see that things that change is that the initial pH needs to be calculated using the ice table, using the Ka of that weak acid, and at the equivalence point, the pH is not 7 anymore. It's actually going to be above 7. It's basic because the conjugate base is not the spectator ion. You need to use the ice table and using Kb for that. Okay, noting also the dilution associated to having added all that base. What we're going to do now is how can we calculate the pH in this area? This area is a very peculiar one because it's something called a buffer. You will see the application of buffers in many other contexts, but you will understand what is the power of a buffer and how we can calculate the pH of a buffer because it's simple, but it also has a lot of applications. So how can we get there? We're going to answer this question. What is the pH when we have added 3 milliliters, 5 milliliters, and 7 milliliters of 0,1 molar sodium hydroxide? So pretty much if the titration reached its equivalence point by 10, I'm asking for what is the pH when we have 3, 5, and 7. Okay. First of all, notice that because we had 10 milliliters, 0,1 molar, it's quite immediate, right, that it takes 10 milliliters to neutralize, so you shouldn't take a lot of calculations here. So let's see how we can come up with a pH. First of all, let's set up the actual reaction. So if you have this reaction, and again, this is completely displaced to the right. This is not an equilibrium. This is not the weak acid in water. This is the weak acid reacting with a strong base. So you can pretty much assume that it's all displaced to the right. Okay. So if initially you have, if you remember from the previous video, this means that I have 0.001 moles of HA. Okay, so initially I have 0.001, and if I have added 3 milliliters, soon you would realize that if you do the calculation, this is 3 milliliters. So this is the limiting reagent, so this is for 3 milliliters, right, initially. And at the end, no need to add X, no X here again because it's a reaction completely displaced to the right. This is the limiting reagent. What I have left is 0,007, and in here this limiting reagent determines that I have this much. I do not care too much about the water. Okay. Alright, so what is the pH here? Well, in this case, what we have to set up is how can we find out the pH when you have these quantities in solution? Well, first of all, notice, I want you to realize that an acid will not react with its conjugate base. So there's no such thing as this one reacting with this one, even though they both exist. So its concentration is pretty much unchanged. So because its concentration is pretty much unchanged, you can use an equation such as this one, where, and again, Ka is what? I'm just using, this is the Ka expression, right? And this Ka is 10 to the negative 5, okay? And if you're saying that this is not going to change, so I already know its amounts, this is number of moles, this is number of moles. So notice that the only thing unknown is the hydronium concentration, which is exactly what I want to know. Okay, so I'm just going to write it here that the Ka 10 to the negative 5 is hydronium. Well, let me just, it should be 0.0003 divided by the volume, which is 20 milliliters, but you will see it will cancel out. 0.007 divided by the volume. Okay, again, cancels out. What do I have? H3O plus, right? If I move it, is the Ka times the concentration of the acid, 0.007 divided by 0.0003. We have, well, if so, just in case you know where these equations come from, this is, wait a second, yes, HA divided by AH. Okay, so you can use the very definition of Ka to find the concentration, because we assume exactly this up here, that these concentrations remain unchanged. Therefore, in the equilibrium, this is already determined through the equilibrium of Ka. There is, however, a more famous equation, which is the logarithms. If you take minus logarithm on both sides of this equation, you'll get the following. pH is equal to the negative log of Ka, that's called pKa, and the log of a product is addition of the summation of a log. Therefore, and again, because then we have to flip it, this should be concentration of AOH negative HA. Okay, so this logarithmic form of Ka is called the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Hasselbalch equation, and it gives you the pH in the buffer area. Okay, it cannot give you the pH anywhere else, because you have to assume that you have significant amount of both acid and its conjugate base. Therefore, that's only true in halfway of the titration curve. Notice that we only did for 3 milliliters, but now with this equation it's pretty much immediate. And so for, sorry if it's a little cramped here, but for 5 milliliters, notice that you will have equal amounts of, let me just do it in the next step. So we were doing this. So for 5 milliliters you had, let's see, so you have 0.001 and you have added 0.005. That means this is all gone. You have 0.005 left and you have 0.0005 here. Notice that if you apply the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, log of the acid, which is 0.0005 divided by the volume, 0.0005 divided by the volume, this is 1, logarithm of 1 is 0, pH is equal to pKa. And that's a very interesting result when you are halfway of your titration of a weak acid. Remember, this is the 10 milliliters. Halfway at 5 milliliters, the pH is equal, this axis is pH, and this value is the pKa. Okay. Again, we could calculate when it's 7 milliliters using this formula. Notice that the volumes always cancel out, so we can just work with moles. But it's a very interesting result, because we can use this technique also to determine the pKa of an acid, which is something you will do in the lab.